everyone! Today I'm going to be showing how to assemble my Supergirl skirt pattern. I've already assembled my pattern pieces. This is available in my Etsy store, which is linked below. So right now I'm just cutting out my fabric, so this is the interfacing. This is optional, but I do think it helps to add the pleats. So this is the red spandex that I'm using. The front piece is cut on the fold, as you can see. And now I'm just gonna iron on the interfacing as indicated on the pattern. So this is for the front piece and it's just going right in the centre. So the actual skirt used in the show is screen printed. And to kind of mimic that effect, I'm going to use these paints to do the pattern. I'm just testing out the different ones here. So I have a slick paint in the colour True Red and this puffy paint, which is just in the colour red. So I ended up going for the red colour just because it matches the fabric a bit better, and here I am just drawing out the pattern. So I'm using a ruler to get them all straight, the top line, and then I'm drawing the rest of the triangle underneath. And I'm just doing a couple of rows at a time. I did this over a couple of days. And this is how that's turned out, so now I just need to do that on the rest of the fabric. So I'm doing this one at a different angle, so you can kind of see the line where the two different angles meet. That's going to be hidden by the pleat. I ended up using 4 bottles of the puffy paint to cover the entire skirt. So I started activating the puffy paint, but it makes the paint go like matte, which isn't really what I want, so I'm gonna just leave it as is for the rest of it. So now I'm just taking each of my pieces and I'm folding it over where the pleat is going to be, and you can see that line because of where the interfacing ends. And I'm just going to clip all of that in place so that it can be top stitched. So I started off trying to do this on the sewing machine, but it doesn't really move the fabric along very well. It just kind of gets stuck on all the plastic, so I ended up doing this by hand instead. But you can see the line that I'm trying to stitch anyway. So this is just me hand stitching down that line. It just kind of helps the pleat to hold its shape better. I'm also leaving about a half of an inch at the very bottom unstitched, just to make hemming a bit easier. And I'm also just doing a quick hand stitch along the top of the pleats where the waistband is going to go, just to keep everything in place when I'm sewing it in a minute. So here I'm just pinning the 3 parts of the facing together, and then I'm gonna pin the 3 skirt pieces together in the right order as well, leaving the back open for now. And with all of those sewn up, I'm just lining up the facing with the top of the skirt, clipping that in place, and then I'm going to stitch it down. And it's important to use a stretch stitch for this part, because the skirt pattern, it should be slightly smaller than your waist, so you can get a snug fit, which means it will need to stretch. So now I'm going to sew the 2 backs together, and I'm just using like a basting stitch here to allow me to insert the zipper, and I'm folding over the facing before I do that. And now I'm just lining up my zipper along this seam. I'm not pressing it open because I don't want to activate the paint, but I'm just pinning it in place, and then I've stitched it in and then removed the basting stitches. And then the last thing to do is to hem the bottom of the skirt, so I'm just turning it up by about half an inch, clipping it in place and then sewing it. If you have painted your skirt, you should wait until the paint is completely dry before doing this, just to make the stitching a bit easier. And that's it. If you want, you can also top stitch the facing and the waist line together. If it's not lying flat, that will help, but I found with mine that I didn't really need to. So that's it. And here it is, the finished skirt, along with the belt that I made the other week. I'm really happy with how this has turned out. I think the paint's given the exact sort of effect that I was going for. So let me know what you think, and thank you for watching.